If you have been avoiding warplans in a party because you thought re-rolling the board eats everyone's marks of Elduin, I have good news for you, because that is not how it works, and you have probably been missing out on the best group farming Diablo 4 has ever had, at least so far. So today, I want to clear that up, probably show you exactly how the party system works, and also talk about the one thing about warplans that people are still, very rightfully so, upset about. Let me start with the fix itself, because this is genuinely one of the best changes in Season 14, and as we know, there haven't been that many changes. So that means something. Before this season, playing warplans with friends was kind of pointless. Everyone had their own random board with their own objectives, so nothing ever lined up, or you could do the same thing very rarely. And if you were not the party leader, you got a reduced experience cache and some scraps for your trouble. The system basically punished you for grouping in a game that is supposed to be fun with friends. People complained about that a lot, and for good reason. Season 14 finally fixed it. You can now sync your entire warplan board with your party, and once you do, everyone has the exact same objectives, and any progress one person makes counts for the whole group. If your friend finishes a Nightmare Dungeon objective, you get that progress too. Everyone earns the full rewards, and it works whether you are 2, 3, or 4 players, and once you do have the warplan unlocked fully, given that you have maybe a new character that you want to play, it does not matter what warplan level everyone is. And by level, I mean on top of the warplan where it says rank 4, rank 5, this kind of stuff. What torment tier you are in does also not matter. The warplan will sync depending on who the initiator is. So here's how you really do it, step by step. First, get your party together and make sure everyone is in Themis. You all have to be in town. That's the part that's really important. The option will not show up otherwise. Then, if you're all gathered, open the warplan table, and as long as you are in a party, you will see a new prompt at the bottom called New Plan for Party. One person then selects it, and that starts a vote. Everyone in the party gets a pop-up asking to be accepted, and once everyone says yes, the board of the person who started the vote gets re-rolled, and then everyone sees the same re-roll. And that exact new board is pushed to the entire party. That is it. From that moment on, you are all working on the same plan. Now here's the part that I really want you to understand, because it's the misconception I keep seeing online, and I've been there as well. Starting that vote costs 2 marks of Elduin, but they are only taken from the person who initiates it, not from everyone else. Your party members pay nothing. So if you have been holding off on rerolls because you thought it drains the whole group's currency, and as you only have 3, you can only reroll once because then everyone only has 1 left, that is just not the case. And it gets better, because every player has their own marks. You can simply take turns. If the board you rolled is not great, someone else in the party can start the next reroll with their own marks. So basically, you can reroll 4 times in a party until you find the plan you like. Or, well, if you rerolled as often as you have party members and you still don't like the warplan, well, you do have to finish that one eventually. The last reroll of the party has to be done. And since finishing a warplan board gives you 3 marks back, you can then basically stay in positive in terms of the amount of marks of Elduin that you have the whole time, as long as you are actually playing. The system is much more generous than people think, or at least than what you initially might think. There's a quick note though that I want to mention in case you are new to the game. Marks of Elduin are the warplan currency, and the main way you earn them is simply by completing warplan boards. So the loop basically feeds itself. You play, you earn marks, you reroll or sync whenever you want. Okay, so that's the good part. Now let us talk about the part that still makes people angry, and I get it. Warplans are still not account-wide. Every activity in the system has its own upgrade tree. 7 of them in total, and all of that progress is bound to your very specific character. Not your account, your character. So if you love playing alts, especially in a game like Diablo, and let us be honest, a lot of us do, every single new character means grinding all 7 trees again from 0, and reaching level 7 of a Warplan tree is already quite time consuming. Most casual players might not even get there. All those nodes you unlocked, all that time you put in, none of it carries over. And with how important those upgrade nodes are for endgame farming, it is not really optional either. You really feel the difference immediately on a fresh character. The community, of course, has been loud about this for a while now. There are threads on the official forums demanding account-wide warplans in, let us say, very direct language. And to be fair, I understand the frustration. The one silver lining is that Blizzard knows. Because in a developer Q&A, the lead systems designer straight up said they hear the feedback on per character warplans. So it is on their radar. It just did not make it into Season 14, and we do not know when or if it is really coming. So that is where warplans are at right now. The party experience went from extremely bad to previous seasons, since Lord of Hatred, to genuinely one of the best ways to farm in the game, and the reroll cost is way less scary than people think, especially once you realize that it isn't taking the marks of Eldraine from everyone in the party, but only one person. But the alt situation is very rough, and until that changes, I think the criticism is quite fair. So let me know, what do you think? Is per character progression a deal breaker for you, or do you really not care because you main only one character this season or any season anyway? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious where all of you stand on this one. And if this cleared things up for you, a like helps me out a ton, and if you subscribe, I would be even more happy, especially if you want more Diablo 4 content like this. Okay, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!